Today we celebrate the Ascension of our Lord. And I think that this Feast of the Ascension should not be one more date in our liturgical calendar, but I think that this feast day should be an image and a summary of our whole spiritual life. The Ascension of our Lord is not meant to be just one date among many. The Ascension of our Lord is the visible expression of what our spiritual life should look like. An ongoing, growing process of spiritual maturity and growth. The Feast of the Ascension reminds us that we should raise our eyes, that we should raise our spiritual life, that we should raise our love. And I think that this topic is relevant because we are always threatened by the sin of mediocrity. The sin of mediocrity means I'm good where I am. As long as I do what's necessary, as long as I do the minimum, then I'm fine. But the Feast of the Ascension reminds us that the spiritual life is not about doing the least necessary, but it's a permanent invitation to grow. Saint Teresa of Avila, a great saint and mystic from the 16th century of Spain, she had a beautiful image about the spiritual life that I think coincides very beautifully with today's feast day. She said that the spiritual life looked like a walled castle. And those who were beginners were outside of the walled castle. But God invited us to move into the castle, into the central chamber, going from the outside into the center, into the heart of the castle. So today, very briefly, now that the Lord invites us to grow, I'm going to offer you a very simple 3-level division of the spiritual life. 3 levels of the spiritual life to see how is it that we're meant to move from the first level to the 3rd level. And perhaps it can also be an occasion for you to evaluate, where are you at? What level are you at? What's the first level of the spiritual life in this ascension? The first level is the person who understands that he will never find joy and happiness in sin, and that he has to give up on sin, and that he needs of Jesus Christ to be happy in this life and in the next life. To use an image, very simple, those who are in the first level understand that their car is broken and they need Jesus to fix that car. And without Jesus, their car is not going to work. It's going to be always going into the mechanic, and it's just going to be difficult in life without the Lord. I think a beautiful example of those who are in this first level is the example of the Apostle Matthew when he first encountered Jesus. He was a sinner because he was a tax collector. He was considered a traitor by all of his fellow Israelites. But the day he found Jesus, he gave up on his sin. He knew that Jesus loved him and decided to bring the Lord into his life. So I think the Apostle Matthew is a great example of those who are in the first level. Now let's move into the second level. How do you know you're in the second level? Or what does it look like to be in the second level? Those who are in the second level know not only that they need of God in their life, but they know that God needs of them too. So let's go back to the image of the car. It's not only that you know that you need Jesus for the car to be running. Those who are in the second level, they say to the Lord, you take the wheel, you be in charge of the car, you drive the car. Those who are in the second level not only know that they need the Lord, they know that the Lord needs them too. It's a recognition, not only that I need Him, but that God also wants to use you as an instrument. The first level is just, I need you. The second level is, I want to be your instrument. I have a mission in life, you want to use me. And I thought that a great example about this second level is offered by Mother Teresa of Calcutta. I was reading a book on her recently, and towards the end of her life, they asked her, Mother Teresa, how is it possible for you to have done so many great things in your 60 or 70 years of life? And you know what was the answer she gave? I thought it was a beautiful answer. She said, I am only a pen, and God uses me to write a beautiful story. I am only a pen, but God is the one who is writing through me. So what is the second level? The second level is the Christian that recognizes not only that you need God, but that God needs you too. So let me ask you this question. Do you recognize that you're meant to be an instrument in God's hands? Have you understood that God also needs of you, and it's not only that you need of God? That He has a providence, a plan, that He has something very special for you? What is the last level? The last level of this spiritual growth is when it's not about me. It's not even about me being an instrument. It's about me suffering and consoling the Lord. And I think the greatest example of those who were in this third level, I think, is our Blessed Mother at the feet of the cross. She knows she needs of God. She's also been an instrument of God. But at the feet of the cross, that's the greatest example of third level. Those who are willing to suffer and to console the heart of Jesus. Those who are willing to give up on their lives so that they can offer Him their friendship, their love, when the rest of the world has forgiven of the Lord, has forgotten about God's great love for each one of us. So let me finish with this. Number one, do you know, or do you see in your own life spiritual growth? Are you aiming to grow, or are you satisfied with where you're at? The Feast of the Ascension is a great reminder that you're meant to grow, to go from the outer wall to the inner chamber. Second, the first level, those who recognize that they need of God. Are you absolutely certain that without God, your car will never work? Second level, it's not only that you know that you need God, it's you recognize that God needs you. Have you offered yourself as a pen in God's hands? Do you understand that you're meant to be an instrument of His love in this world? Third level, the image of our Blessed Mother at the feet of the cross. Brothers and sisters, let us raise our hearts in this Feast of the Ascension. Let us raise our sight, and let us remember that God calls each one of us to a profound union with Him, an ever-growing and more intense profound union with Him.